What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's your boy Big Sour, and today we're talking about Fortnite. Specifically, what the best weapons are in this season of Fortnite. Now, there's been a lot of new weapons added this season. A lot of weapons have been remixed. There's equipment that has never been in the game. And we have to consider that there's a build mode and a no build mode. So there's many things to talk about. Let's not waste time. Let's get right on into it. Now, in the box, I've collected every item in the game, every weapon that they have in Battle Lab, and I've ordered them from bad to best. So first, we start off with the bad stuff. It's not necessarily bad. Some of it is bad, but it's mostly things you'll use situationally, such as the repair torch and the cow catcher. Now, the cow catcher has the ability to break through walls, and it will protect you in no build mode, but it leaves you stationary. It's much more useful to put on a semi or a car and just use that to troll people, because that works in build mode too. These combined, better use on a car, not really good in your hands. Then we have the Ranger Assault Rifle. The Ranger Assault Rifle is by far the worst gun in the game right now. It is very bloom based, and it is very slow too. It doesn't really do that much damage compared to something like a burst, so you're not really going to want to take it anywhere outside of your drop. But just the fact that it has the bloom and the slow fire rate makes it one of the worst guns you can pick up this season. And in that similar vein, we got the Revolver. Too slow, not enough damage, and unreliable. It has bloom. Any gun that has bloom in this season is just not what you want to be picking up, because there are plenty of guns that are pinpoint accurate. You're just going to get destroyed trying to contest them. We got to look at this from the perspective of you're trying to contest someone who's firing directly at you. Who wins? A lot of times it just comes down to math. In that same vein of thought, I have put the Honey Sniper down in the bad guns tier. While it has 3 shots to it, it is incredibly slow, and in general, all snipers are bad because they cannot hit a one-hit headshot. And this one is bad in particular because it has no other purpose. It has no other purpose besides hitting people in your beginning zone. I wouldn't take it anywhere outside of that. All this stuff in the F tier, minus the jetpack, of course, you do not want to be taking outside of your landing spot. Before we even get to the next guns, I'm locking this up. Never pick up that stuff. Well, pick it up if you need to survive, but never take it outside your landing spot. Next, we have the B tier stuff. Now, the B tier stuff is also very situational, but it's more powerful. It's more varied in what situations you can use, and you can conceivably carry it to end game. But I wouldn't be carrying most of it if you're going solo. That's the real thing. These are very good in squads, not so good in solo. So we start with the light machine gun. The light machine gun can spam. It can definitely spam, but its fire rate just isn't as high as your other options in the spray department, so it's not really gonna bleed through walls. And combined with that being an AR, it's going to have fall-off damage when you're shooting walls from a distance. So it's not gonna be as useful for spraying out walls as SMGs are. It doesn't have great round collection. When you're running solo, it's not the best use of your medium ammo. We also got the Anvil, something that's really great when you're running squads, but not as good in solo. You can really only use it in certain situations, and if someone runs up on you, you pretty much have only 4 slots of useful stuff. A little more useful than that, I've found, is the C4. Now, the C4 takes out most structures, which makes it pretty useful in build or no build mode. Doesn't matter which one you're rocking. But it also has the added bonus of being very good against vehicles. Since you can use it pretty easily, short range and mid range, I would put it a little bit above the Anvil launcher. I'm more likely to pick it up when I'm running solo than I am an Anvil launcher. Let me put it that way. Then we have the Harpoon. Yes, Harpoon is a weapon. You just have to think of it like a weapon. If someone builds a wood wall, it will one-hit shot take down a full wood wall. So anyone who is building with wood, you can get into their box pretty easily, you know? You do the old, like, ramp over trick and fall through. It also does 75 damage and pulls people to you, which generally disorients their aim. paired with some of the other spammier guns like the drum shotgun, it's actually pretty good. And I'm actually going to show you a couple of loadouts that I've been running that I think are really, really good, that set you up really well for victory. At the end of this, though, after I get through all the weapons. Last thing in here is the thermal scoped assault rifle. If you're running solo, you pretty much don't want to have this weapon. There are better options for long-range pinging. There's mythics, there's the heavy sniper. I would not take the hunting sniper, but there's Storm Scout sniper as well. And truthfully speaking, the other ARs are going to get better results. Now, it is powerful, but the fact that it's a single shot really brings it down. And at a comparable level, a burst is going to do more per shot than this thermal is. So my advice, don't run it unless you're in a squad. But if you're in a squad, always have someone with a thermal, because they're going to be calling people out that you didn't even see. They're going to be hitting people in ways you aren't even trying to hit them. It'll win you games, straight up. Okay, next up we have the A-tier weapons. And this is going to be comprised mostly of shotguns, since all of the shotguns are in a decent state. And when we consider both build and no build, I find that a shotgun is actually necessary. It just depends on what mode you're playing, what shotgun you should be picking up. We're going to start with the Ranger shotgun. And the Ranger shotgun, even at green, I was not able to find another one. I destroyed all of Tilted Towers here. The Ranger shotgun will hit for 115 body shot from a good 5 to 6 tiles away. But unfortunately, there's only one round. I've found this is best in no build mode. People will try to cross distances on you. They don't have the protection of building. You hit them for a quick 120, 150 headshot even, and then clean them with an SMG. It's amazing in no builds. That's where I would use it. In between that, we have the Striker, which really excels in build mode, because while it fires pretty slow, that's the goal, by the way. I'm going maximum fire speed. But for comparison, you could probably reload this just as fast. But having those 5 shots and having a power of 105 hit to the body, it makes the Striker the preferred shotgun in build mode, you know, because you go like this, bam, you go like this, you maybe edit through, bam, you know, you go over the top, and you still have more rounds, and you're hitting them for big shots too. It's specifically suited to the pacing of the build mode. No build, Ranger shotgun, build mode, Striker pump. In a weird spot in the middle is the auto shotgun, which I should honestly put down here. Little caveat, I'm going to put it in the situational gun because I feel like it's underpowered. If you run into someone with a Ranger and an SMG, or someone with a drum shotgun, you're probably going to lose using this gun. And it's not really too strong, so it's not good for the build edit shots. I would only pick it up in no build mode, and even then, there's better options. Now, the Stinger SMG, A tier. And the only reason it's not S tier is because Epic Games, for some reason, brought out an even better SMG. I mean, you look how fast it fires, you see how little it kicks, and it has a pretty big magazine. But it's just a little bit weaker than the other SMG that we're going to talk about in a second, so A tier. Heavy Sniper is also A tier. It's more useful in build because, you know, someone builds a full metal wall, bam, shoot it out. It's better than the Harpoon in that sense, and you can snipe with it. But in solos, you're going to have to sacrifice something, whether that's a healing slot, or your rifle, or your SMG. You're going to sacrifice something to hold this. It's an A tier. I use it all the time, but I feel like you put yourself at a bit of a disadvantage because you have to give up some of the more important things that are in the S tier. So all of this stuff, A tier. You could win games with it, you will win games with it, but it's less useful than the stuff that's right above it. Oh, before I forget, because I wasn't able to find it here in Battle Labs, the Mk7 Assault is in the game, and that falls distinctly in the A tier. While it is a great gun, and it actually allows you to run the heavy sniper, it's underpowered compared to the burst. If you trade off with someone who has a burst and you guys are the same color, you're probably going to lose. Especially when the burst hits those headshots, because the headshots from the burst are absolutely devastating. Mk7, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it needs a bit of a buff to keep up with the burst. Now, S tier is these 3 things and the equipment. The burst assault rifle is one of the most powerful assault rifles that's ever been in the game. It hits for 33s. Its headshot multiplier is 2 times, so it could conceivably 2-tap somebody. It could 2-shot someone before they're able to react. It's kind of broken. I kind of hope they nerf it. It is what it is, you know? We're playing within the meta. That's why we're making this video, because we realize that the game is what it is, and we just got to try to excel within it. Next on the list is the Combat SMG. The Combat SMG is just better than the Stinger. It has a little bit more kick, but trust me, you want to pick it up. After a couple games, you're not even going to notice it, and it's just going to be hitting them for harder numbers from farther away. 22s, that's not bad. And it has a bigger magazine. It's going to last longer. If you and someone get in a fight in a box like this, and they have a Stinger, you have an SMG, as long as you know how to do your dance, you're winning. You're winning. You're going to have more shots, you're going to be firing for longer, you're going to catch them reloading. There's no real reason you should be picking up Stinger over Combat. And the third gun that is on the S tier simply because it's broken is the Drum Shotgun. Now, it's a bit more situational than, say, a Striker, but if you play your game right, you focus on harpoons, you focus on shockwaves, you focus on getting close, there's pretty much no way to stop yourself from dying to a drum shotgun, unless you have another drum shotgun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just side spray someone, and that's it. That's it. That's it. They're just done. It doesn't matter what they try to do to you. They're just already done. The DPS on this drum shotgun is truly insane. It excels even more in no build mode, but if you know how to play right, it's S tier in build mode. Now, in the S tier, in terms of equipment, is the Shockwave Grenade. It's just useful in every mode, no matter what you do. Whether it's no build and you need to get up a mountain, or it's build mode, you need to rotate. You can also do cool tricks like this, which some of the cool kids do. Say there's someone here who has a box on you, right? So you go like this, and you go out the back. There's so many techniques you can do with the Shockwave Grenade. I would definitely pick them up anytime you see them. Now, there's a couple guns that you can't really get in Battle Labs. I'm pretty sure there's no NPCs, and I'm going to go through them right now, that being the Mythics and the Exotics. Generally speaking, the Mythics are better than their counterparts, their regular counterparts, that being Sloan's Burst, Huntmaster's Thermal, and Gunner's SMG. The only exception is Gunner's SMG, because Gunner's SMG, despite being more powerful, has insane recoil. It's got worse recoil than a Combat SMG. So Gunner's SMG, I straight up put in the poop tier. I try to never pick it up. I would rather have like a blue Stinger than Gunner's SMG. Otherwise, pick up the Mythics over the regular counterparts. Sloan's Mythic, I believe, is the most busted. If you're landing for Sloan's Mythic, you're gonna tear people up, and it's gonna help you win games. And that's pretty much what this is all about. You want to get your optimal loadout that's gonna win you the most games. Battle Royales are just statistics. It's all a number game. You gotta drop in, you gotta grind it out. But we want good results. Mathematically, we want the best bang for our buck. Now we're gonna move on to the exotic weapons. These are weapons that can be bought from NPCs. Generally, they cost about 500 gold, but most of them have game-changing effects. We're gonna start from the best and work down to the bottom. Now, the one that I consider the most useful is the Storm Scout Sniper. It's worth dropping on every game, specifically because it tells you where the storm is gonna go. So it's stronger than the basic sniper rifle that we never are gonna talk about, and it has 5 shots. It's definitely worth a pickup, and the NPCs that have it generally have shockwaves as well. So it's a primo landing spot, recommended, S tier exotic. Also in the S tier is going to be the Dub Shotgun. Now, the Dub Shotgun can do 120 or something like that per body shot, and it has 2 shots in it. But not only that, it helps propel you through the air like a Shockwave Grenade. Beware though, it doesn't give you fall immunity, but it takes the place of 2 slots in your inventory, that being your shockwaves and your shotgun. So you'll be able to carry a more diverse loadout. You'll be able to maybe throw a sniper in there, or maybe throw some kind of novelty item, grenades, C4. It helps you switch up your loadout to have the Dub. Another S tier gun. Now down in the A tier, we have the Shadow Tracker. The Shadow Tracker pistol is silenced, which is a great benefit when you're playing something like no build, or even if you're just trying to plink damage. The real bonus of this gun is that it marks people with radar. Outside of IO stations, where they have their computers, there's no real way to mark anyone with radar. So it helps you to track people. It has a pretty high DPS. It's not going to be a bad use of your light ammo, but the thing is, you might get out DPS'd using it. You'll have to be pretty careful, and you'll probably have to run it with a drum shotgun just to make sure you can get those fast cleanups at close range. Another A tier gun is going to be the Nighthawk Revolver. Now, this revolver is a thermal revolver. It has 6 shots, but the real thing that makes it great is that it hits harder than any of the thermal assault rifles. It's the go-to if you want to be using the thermal without picking up fish. It hits for 88 headshots, 44 body, and in general, I really like the way it feels. When the regular hunting revolver is in the game, I don't like it, but with the thermal effect, I think it's really good, puts it in the A tier, solid pickup. Now going down to the B tier is an exotic that I consider very situational. I think it's a little bit underpowered. It is the Boom Sniper Rifle. Now, it's really just that the initial shot doesn't do enough damage. It does sticky you with a Clinger Grenade, which helps to eliminate builds, making this useful in build and no build mode. But I feel it's underpowered. You have better sniper options, especially in a time when the heavy sniper is in. It's just going to be a better use of your sniper rounds, considering it can take out cars, walls, all that kind of stuff instantly. It's more precise. It's more tactical. Pick it up if you like it, but I feel like it's a waste of gold. But the real waste of gold of all of these exotic weapons, and I don't know how they can save this gun. I don't even know why it's still in the game. I don't think it even has a special effect. It's the Marksman Six Shooter. It's bad. The Six Shooter is just bad. It uses your medium ammo, but it acts as a shotgun, and you can spray them all at once, but it has bad bloom, and it doesn't do enough damage, especially in a season where you have drum shotguns, Stinger SMGs, combat SMGs. The Striker does 105 body shot. There's no reason to be picking up the Marksman. Please don't pick up the Marksman Six Shooter. Let it be eliminated from this game. If everyone stopped picking it up, then Epic would see that its drop rates are awful, and they might take it out of the game. That's my hope. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple loadouts that I think will give you a really good chance of winning the game. If we're looking to loadouts that are centered around Shockwave Grenades, obviously we're going to have the top tier right here. And in this season, I recommend you have 2 heals. I have another video about the best heals in this game, and you should watch it up above right now. Well, watch it after this video. But the long and short of it is, you want fish, health sprays, splashes, but in any case, you need 2 heals this season. The amount of spray, the amount of damage output means you're going to get hit a lot and hard. And just having a couple minis isn't going to carry you through the most difficult fights. So running this loadout, drum shotgun, burst, shockwave, and then 2 heals, you will destroy a lot of people. The only problem with builds, if you're high ping and you rely on spraying people's walls to get through them, this isn't really your loadout. This is more for people with good ping who can reliably take walls. If that's the case, you might want to pick up the combat SMG over the drum shotgun. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend not running a shotgun, but if you're a controller player and you have somewhat high ping, you want to focus on that tracking instead. You want to use your aim assist to your advantage, so this is not a terrible loadout. Drum shotgun or combat SMG, you're going to do pretty damn well either way. Now, if you rely more on your edits and your building skill, you're definitely going to want the Striker, and when you take the Striker, you're definitely going to want an SMG backup. Now, the only thing here is it doesn't leave you much mobility, but this is a builder's loadout. I would not run this loadout in no builds. This is something where you can build to them, you can protect yourself. It doesn't really matter that you don't have movement items because you got the builds. Because of the combat SMG's reliability and its lack of bloom at range, you could run the Sniper. And this is a nice little tricky loadout because it gets you through walls. Really, what you're doing is you're sending out shots from a long range, and you're not really trying to take long pokes. You just get in there, cross the bridge, take them out, you get on their box, get yourself inside, and then just spam them out. This is for aggressive people. Let me put it this way. Aggressive people who hit their shots definitely want to pick up Striker, Heavy Sniper, Combat SMG. If you're playing no builds, I would recommend taking the Ranger Shotgun over the Striker, just because people are going to hold different angles on you. It's more likely that someone will hold this angle, And in that sense, you'll want to snipe it, hit them, and you're going to hit them for 60, 70 from this range. And then you just clean up with the SMG as they're trying to run away. Different tactics for different modes, but still really, really reliable. The main difference being what mode you're playing. Now, the real question becomes what your circle is, because you're going to have to think tactically about what your end game is. Are you going to need movement? Are you going to need shockwaves? Are you going to need a jetpack? Are you going to need a car to rotate with cow catchers? And that's really going to dictate what you take into endgame. If you're already up the hill, you can afford the sniper. If you're not up the hill, just drop the sniper. Don't even consider it. In most situations, the Stinger is going to be your best bet. If they miss the heavy snipe, you'll tear them up with the striker. In 80% of games, the loadout I'm running, this exact loadout with the striker, if I'm in build mode, and this loadout if I'm in no build mode. If you're a little more noobish, you're a little newer to the game, you don't play Fortnite as much, do the drum shotgun. Definitely just focus on getting in close, getting the sprays off. I would recommend, if you're playing squads, landing on certain mythics. Maybe the Storm Scout with shockwaves, because that's going to get you the best results. You have one person having the Storm Scout pocket, everyone has some shockwaves on them to get away from danger, to get up hills, and that's really the best advice I can give you. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what your favorite guns are this season. Let me know what loadout you're running. Let me know if you think I got anything wrong here. I want to get you talking. I want to get the community discussing this video, because I feel like this video is pretty important. Fortnite's at a weird stage of its life where there's a bunch of different ways to play, and that means the meta shifts around how you're playing it, and there's so many new guns and changed around guns. A lot of people are clueless to what they should be picking up, but I hope this video helped you out a bit. I hope it helps you get some dubs. If you want to catch some dubs with me, stop in on Sundays. I host community squad days. Anyway, take care of yourself. Peace and love.